Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin, and we're part of the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network. And this is the Impact Wrestling edition of the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. Good to be back this week, folks, to talk about Impact Wrestling. I'm going to talk about, of course, the flagship show, some news to go over, and a few other things. I know this week debuting on the Global Wrestling Network was Night of the Dummies, one night only special. Wasn't able to watch it. I saw the first match and I was quite impressed, actually. So I'll talk about the first match, and maybe I could get with you guys next week to give you my full review on Night of the Dummies. But I just want to say on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at PWSOTH. You can follow me on Facebook at Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. And of course, if you go to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network website, that's Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network.com, click on my link and you will get a link to my Patreon page. If you want to support my Patreon page and become a patron, feel free. We got some new content going up. This week, we have an interview with Aiden Prince, which will be released next week, but it was released a week early for patrons. So if you're a member of my Patreon page, you'll get that interview. And it was a great interview with Aiden Prince, Border City Wrestling, Smash Wrestling, Destiny Wrestling star, who's also made a few appearances in Impact Wrestling. So go ahead and check that out. If you want. Again, Tap That Wrestling Podcast Network.com and click on Pro Wrestling Personified and you'll get the link to the Patreon page. Alright. Dude, I gotta touch on this, man. I gotta touch on this. Bound for Glory sold out. Bound for Glory sold out earlier in the week. Great job, Impact Wrestling. They sold out at New York. And the name of the venue escapes me. The Melrose Ballroom. The Melrose Ballroom, they sold out. You know, and there's still idiots that are coming out saying, "Oh, well, they sell all 12 tickets," or I heard they're handing out, they're paying people $5 each to go to the show. You know, guys, stick that shit up your ass. All right, stick that shit up your ass. I'm sorry, I'm cursing. I normally don't curse, but it's so stupid. It's so dumb. I don't know this. No matter, I mean, come on. And people are asking, oh, how many, what's the capacity? How many people does it hold at them? Who cares? They sold out Bound for Glory. You know, I got sarcastic. I was like, oh, about 20 million people. It goes like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, really. The Melrose Ballroom holds 20 million people. But it's so stupid. It's so dumb. Come on. You know, when will the time come for these people to give credit where credit is due for Impact Wrestling? It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. They sold out Bound for Glory. They're selling out there. They sold out Slammiversary. You know, they're selling out the TV tapings. They went to Mexico. They sold a tremendous amount of tickets. I'm pretty sure they sold out there too. Just give credit. It's a great product now. It's so stupid. And, you know, and I have, you know, there's another guy who came on and he said, you know, and I'm calling it out on my show because it bugs me. It bugs me. Another guy says Impact Wrestling is a joke. And I was like, well, after I let him know that his comment is a joke, I said, well, explain yourself. Why is Impact Wrestling a joke? And he says, his response was, they're always broke. Which they're not, by the way. He says they're always broke, and he goes, they have more fans on social media than they do attending live shows. Are you kidding me? And I was like, are you seriously writing what you just wrote? They have more people on social media than they do, they have more fans on social media than they do at live shows. And I'm like, alright, I looked at the WWE page, and I said, alright, the WWE has 93 million people. 93 million people, have liked the WWE page. And I responded to him. I said, so you're trying to tell me that at every single WWE arena show, there's more than 93 million people at each show? I mean, come on. They're just quoting it. They're just putting Impact Wrestling down for the sake of putting Impact Wrestling down. There's no rhyme or reason behind it anymore. And I don't get, like I said, these people probably, they need someone to talk to. They need someone to communicate with. And this is their means of communication with people. This is their means hey, I'm another person is talking to me. So hey, I'm in a conversation. So that's why they're doing it, in my opinion. It's just, again, no rhyme or reason behind knocking Impact Wrestling anymore. If you're watching it, you're liking the product. I'm sorry. It's a great promotion right now. Great company. And, come on. So you're telling me that Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan is a joke? You're telling me that Brian Cage against Matt Sydal was a joke? Come on. Give me a break, man. Enough's enough with this bull crap. Alright? Enough's enough with this bull crap. And again, my man BQ at the Impact Lounge, he puts him down only in such a great, as only BQ can put these people down. It's hilarious. I get to a point where I'm like, hey BQ, look what this guy said about Impact Wrestling. And BQ is like, where is it? Well, what page is it on? And he goes and he destroys him. And people are so stupid. People are so stupid. Anyway, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's, the Impact Wrestling is a joke because they have more fans on social media than they do that attend their live shows. That is the single dumbest comment that anybody has ever made in the history of humankind. Okay? In the history of humankind. There you go. It's like, so, no, never mind. Let's move along. So, they were in Mexico. They taped, they had 2 days of tapings in Mexico. And Alicia Atout wasn't involved. She was, they brought back Mackenzie Mitchell. Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest here. Alicia Atout is a much better option than Mackenzie Mitchell. I don't know what the story is. I don't know if they're using Alicia, just in Canada, and Mackenzie Mitchell will be elsewhere. I know there's like work visas involved and stuff, so I don't know what the whole deal is, but if I honestly believe that Impact Wrestling would rather have Alicia Atout as a backstage interviewer than Mackenzie Mitchell. Mackenzie Mitchell's a model. I don't know much about her background, but Alicia, she's a wrestling person. She's been interviewing professional wrestlers. She's been involved with professional wrestling for a long time. She's a professional wrestling person, and she's much better at it than Mackenzie Mitchell. Again, I'm not knocking Mackenzie Mitchell. But I'm just saying, if Don Callis and Scott D'Amore called me up and we had a conference call and they said, hey Lewis, we're trying to decide here between Alicia Atout and Mackenzie Mitchell for our backstage interviewer. Who are you going to go with? I wouldn't even think about it. I would say Alicia Atout right off the bat. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to miss Alicia. Hopefully she'll be back. I don't know where the next set of tapings are going to be, but I'm sure she'll be back. I'm sure she will be back. And I want to thank her for all the retweets. She's really cool. I want to thank her for all the retweets. I tweet a lot of Alicia Atout praise, and she retweets them, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Alicia. So let's move along. The Mexico, let's touch upon the Mexico TV tapings, quick. I'm here. There's been a lot of, number of debuts, a number of Impact Wrestling debuts. I didn't look at any spoilers, so I don't know who they are. I saw a major name has made, their Impact Wrestling debut, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, these tapings, and they start next week. And I like what they're doing with the tapings. In the past, you had 5 days of tapings then the Dixie Carter, Billy Corgan era, 5 days of tapings, you get a whole bunch of shows, taped and then it would take like 3-4 weeks before you would start seeing them. Then they would just they would run the whole gauntlet of TV tapings. But here, we were in Toronto last episode was in Toronto. They filmed in Toronto, in Mexico 2 days ago, and next Thursday we're gonna have Impact Wrestling's gonna be from Mexico. So they're not wasting any time. They're on the ball. They're not waiting 3 or 4 weeks. The TV tapings are being taped and they're being shown like the next week, and which is just a tremendous job on their video editing team. I guess I could praise the editors, huh? But just a tremendous effort all around in getting these shows done and ready to show on on the Fight Network here in Canada, and of course Pop in the States. But anyway, so that's it. Let's just talk. I watched Night of the Dummies. I didn't see the whole thing, like I said earlier. I just saw the first episode. The first match and a little bit of the second match. But the first match was Jay Freddie against Isis Efix. I'm pretty sure that was his name. Isis Efix. You understand. You just look at the name. It's close enough. But this Jay Freddie guy, holy good gosh, this guy is freaking good. This guy is freaking good. This was a really good opening match. Good back and forth action. Both guys brought their A game, but I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Efix brought his B plus game. Jay Freddie brought his A game. Maybe even his A plus game. This was a really good match. It's a fun match, crowd pleasing. Both worked so hard in this match to make it a success, and it worked. It was a good match. I really enjoyed it, and the crowd was behind him. I've never seen either of these two guys wrestle before, but I want to see more of Jay Freddie. He has a really good skill set. He looked really good in the ring. And I would love to see more of him on One Night Only or even Impact Wrestling. Jay Freddie did win the match, by the way, and he did defeated Efix. But I want to see more of Jay Freddie. I was really impressed. And I haven't gone on Twitter yet to praise Jay Freddie, but when I'm done recording here on the podcast, I'll go praise Jay Freddie on Twitter. I don't even know if he has a Twitter account, but I have a Twitter account and it's at PWSOTH. But I will check Jay Freddie and give him some praise. I just want to also I wanted to say that looks like I got two really good interviews coming up. I'm not going to say any names, but they've both been on Impact Wrestling, and I've confirmed one. And another one, got to confirm next week, but it looks like I got two good interviews coming up. I just recently did interview with my man Aiden Prince, which was a great interview. He, of course, Border City Wrestling, Destiny Wrestling. He appeared on Impact Wrestling on Explosion. He got a title match against Austin Aries. And it was a really, really good interview, and I had fun talking to Aiden Prince. So that's coming out. That's on Patreon right now. So if you're a patron on my Patreon page, as I specified earlier, you can get that now. But it'll be out next week. For everybody. But if you want to listen to it early, and it was a terrific interview, go to my Patreon page, tapdoutwrestlingpodcast.com, click on my link, and it'll take you to the Patreon page. Alrighty, so also the second match actually at Night of the Dummies, we were plugging some interviews there, but the second match was actually Fallah Bahh against Dick Justice. I watched parts of it. I'm sorry, I'm just not a Dick Justice fan. I love Fallah Bahh. Fallah Bahh oozes charisma. He's a great talent, but I couldn't watch. I turned the match off. I just wasn't into it. It was also late at night, so maybe it was just late night. But I'll give it another shot. Maybe tonight, maybe in a few days. Was watching New Japan this morning, so I wasn't able to watch it this morning, but we'll see. I'll get to Night of the Dummies. I haven't seen the MediaCon Impact Wrestling UK yet either. So I got a couple of shows I need to catch up on. But one show I did see was last week's episode of the flagship show of Impact Wrestling, and that was a decent show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So why don't we get into it? This might be no, I was going to say it might be a shorter version, but I'm already at about 15 minutes right now. So, but so let's talk. I was supposed to have somebody with me this week. I had three guys potentially, and they all weren't able to do it this week. So once again, I'm by myself. So if anybody wants to join me, anybody wants to do a podcast with me, I like talking to people. Feel free to contact me and say, hey, Lewis, I wouldn't mind doing a podcast with you. And, Who knows? I might give you a shot. Anyway, so Impact Wrestling this week. Impact. Like I said, there was some really good matches. The main event, Austin Aries against Fallah Bahh. Austin Aries defending the Impact Wrestling title against Fallah Bahh. And the match was made, in the opening of the show. Of course, Aries, Moose, and Killer Kross, they come out. In the beginning, they sit down, they have a little sofa and a little table in the ring, and they're cutting, promos. Fallah Bahh and KM come out, and, KM goes on a rant. He calls Austin Aries a liar and blah, blah, blah. And then Austin Aries, he speaks to them for a bit and offers Fallah Bahh a shot at the title, which Fallah Bahh accepts. So we have a main event. So it's Fallah Bahh against Austin Aries for the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship as our main event. I like the opening. I like Moose as a heel. I think he's better as a heel than he was as a face, and the fans are giving it to him, calling him douche, and doing the Moose hand gesture instead of Moose. They're calling him douche, which is great. One thing I don't like is Killer Kross. Killer Kross, really, he's almost, like you can say, he's the odd guy out. He cuts a terrific promo, and he's just sitting there. He's not really doing much. He's kind of, I guess he's the muscle. He's the muscle of the group. He's not really supposed to say anything, but I know Killer Kross can talk. Cuts a great promo. I would like to see more of Killer Kross. Give Killer Kross the stick. Let him talk for a bit. I think out of the three, my favorite out of the three right now would be Killer Kross. He's a tremendous talent there. And I was reading that the WWE might be interested in Killer Kross, and that seemed to be, on the internet, seems to be the thing now. It seems like the WWE is interested in everybody. So, please, this enough's enough. The Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, apparently aren't going there. That should have been part of my news, but, I was reading that Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix aren't going there anytime soon, thankfully, but that's the newest rumor now, or that's the newest news, I should say. And now suddenly they're interested in Killer Kross, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They can't have everybody, and they're not the be all end all of professional wrestling. Killer Kross will go there and he'll be buried. He'll be buried pretty quickly. Hopefully he'll stay where he is right now. But anyway, it was a solid opener, which gave us our main event. And I'll tell you, that main event, and I know they kind of, they did the whole show was like rallying behind Fallah Bahh. He's got this golden opportunity. They did a really, really good job with that. And the match itself was just absolutely tremendous. Was absolutely tremendous. I absolutely loved the main event. Fallah Bahh is so freaking talented. I've been saying this since day one, since the first time I saw him. He is so talented. He's just, I mean, you look at going back to the opening segment, he doesn't have to say anything. He just stands there and says, Bahh, and the fans go nuts. They don't go nuts, but they rally behind him. All he has to do is just stand there and say, Bahh, and it's just great stuff. Great stuff. And there's a lot of comparisons. People are like, oh, he's a poor man's Yokozuna. Shut up. Just because he's wearing the sumo gear, the comparison to Yokozuna comes out. But he's not, it's two different characters, in my opinion. They're two different characters, Yokozuna and Fallah Bahh. Yokozuna wasn't walking around banging his head playfully and going, Yoko. He was more of a killer. Fallah Bahh is more of he's more of like a big lovable teddy bear who's damn good in the ring. So they're two different characters. There's enough said on that. But anyway, we got ourselves a really, really good match, between the two. Fallah Bahh, he really, really made you think that he might pull out a victory, that he might become the Impact Wrestling World Champion. There was, and again, I don't read spoilers, and I say that all the time, but there was a few moments where I was thinking, Fallah Bahh might pull this out. we might get a new champion. Fallah Bahh might win this match, but of course, Austin Aries, retains the title. He taps out Fallah Bahh with the last chancery. But no, it was a good match. And of course, Aries, Moose, and Cross, after the match, they attack KM, and they take KM out, and they get his head in the chair, and they hit him, hit the chair, kind of like hitting him in the throat. What they did, same thing that they did to Eddie Edwards and Johnny Impact. But they took out KM. But I was actually thinking that maybe KM was saying a lot more than he would normally say through the course of the show, and I was thinking that maybe KM might turn and join the faction of Moose, Cross, and Aries, but that of course didn't happen. I was just thinking, in the back of my head, and I know BQ, he of the Impact Lounge, I think he was thinking the same thing. He sent a tweet out on that, but I was thinking that KM might turn, but no, he didn't turn. He didn't turn on his buddy Fallah Bahh. But I'm glad to see Fallah Bahh in the limelight and him getting a title shot. It's great stuff. I love Fallah Bahh, and I praised him for many episodes, and he always delivers, and he delivered in this match. Of course, Austin Aries, is Austin Aries, and he may be incapable of having a bad match, but we had a great main event for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Other matches on the show, we had Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, the Lucha Bros, taking on the Cult of Lee, Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley. Now, this was the opening match, and this was a very good, very fun, action-packed opening match. I enjoyed this match immensely. I glad it wasn't, when the match came out, I thought it was going to be a squash. I thought the Lucha Brothers were going to run right over Cult of Lee. A few weeks ago, Cult of Lee lost to Mr. Atlantis and, I can't remember the other guy's name, but two jobbers that I've never seen before. The whole Eli Drake thing, and Cult of Lee lost to them, in less than a minute, and it made them look like complete schmucks. And I thought Lucha Brothers were going to come out and they were going to run right over Cult of Lee, and it was going to be like a 30-second squash match. But no, we got a good match. And Trevor Lee, and I don't want to say this every week. I don't want to say this every freaking week. But Trevor Lee is so fucking good. Oh, I'm sorry. I cursed. I didn't mean to curse. I'm sorry. I get worked up. Trevor Lee is so damn good, yet he's held back, man. He's held back. I don't remember the last time he was actually on the winning end of a match, man. Whether it be a tag team or whatever it is on TV. Maybe on a one night only or something. But, damn, he is so good. And he's gonna leave. I'm sorry, but he's gonna wind up leaving. They're gonna lose Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee, his contract is up. I don't know when his contract is up, but he's gonna go. He's gonna end up in New Japan, or he's gonna end up in NXT or something, and he's gonna thrive. He's gonna thrive. Ring of Honor or wherever he ends up. They need to take action now on Trevor Lee. They need to, I would just have him attack Caleb Conley. Turn on Caleb Conley. Just attack them, beat the hell out of Caleb Conley, and become a heel. Just be his own guy. He doesn't need to be in the Cult of Lee or anything like that anymore. Just his own guy. Have him at the top of the X Division and have him challenge Brian Cage. I would book him to defeat Brian Cage for the Impact X Division title. I would. He's just so damn good. They should have put the X Division title on him, and they should have kept it on him for almost a year or over a year. He's that damn good. He's that damn good. That's my opinion, of course. But I'm not running the show. It's up to Don Callis and Scott D'Amore, so they make the calls. But of course, the Lucha Brothers did win the match, but it was a great opening match. The winner was never in doubt. You know who was going to win. There's no way that Lee and Conley were going to win, but the Lucha Brothers win. Of course, OVE comes out and they do a video promo, and they challenge Cage, Pentagon, and Phoenix at Bound for Glory, which was accepted. So at Bound for Glory, it's going to be OVE against Pentagon, Phoenix, and Brian Cage. I think it's an OVE rules match that they're having. I don't know how I feel about that. Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, they're tremendous wrestlers, as is Brian Cage. They're tremendous wrestlers, and I was kind of hoping that we would see one-on-one matches with them. I mean, Pentagon Jr. and Kenny Omega at All In, they absolutely just killed it. Absolutely killed it. I would prefer seeing them in one-on-one matches. It's a big pay-per-view show. Have Brian Cage defend the X Division title against someone, maybe Sami Callihan, and maybe Pentagon and Phoenix. They could, give them other opponents for Bound for Glory. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But anyway, as I stated a little earlier, I'm not Don Callis nor Scott D'Amore. They make the call, so it's going to be OVE, Callihan, Jake, and Dave Christ against Brian Cage, Pentagon, and Phoenix in an OVE rules match. Okay, now let's talk about this, because I didn't like this. I'm starting to not like this whole angle. Katarina. We had Katarina. Oh, by the way, before that, Alicia, she interviewed Tessa Blanchard, and Ali and Kara Hogan, and they cut promos basically on each other. Tessa saying she doesn't need any help, and Ali saying that she doesn't like Tessa, but promises that no one's ever going to get into that coffin, not even Tessa. But anyway, then we had Katarina going one-on-one with Alicia Edwards. Now, we got the whole thing going on with Katarina and Grado and Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry came out and did a little song called Access Denied, played a video making fun of Katarina. And I think Paul Burchill, he mentioned something about her pirate brother. I think it was Paul Burchill was his name. I think they were a tandem in the WWE years ago. And of course, Alicia Edwards rolls up, distracted Katarina, gets the win, a very quick victory. This was, and Grado has got this goofy suit on, he's dancing. I don't like this. I'm sorry. I don't know if anyone out there likes this whole thing. I like Joe Hendry. I like Joe Hendry a lot, but what's the payoff here? What's gonna happen here? Where's this going? Right? Where's this whole thing going? Okay, access is denied. No, Katarina, can't get to Joe Hendry. Fine. Great. So where are we going? Where are we going with this? Is Katarina going to go back to the UK, like I said last week, and possibly bring somebody back to feud with the two? I don't know. I personally was kind of hoping to see, a long played out feud between Joe Hendry and Eli Drake. That is something that would, keep my interest, but this thing is, I don't know. I'm not into this. I just, let's get to the conclusion of what's going on here and get to the payoff, whatever the payoff is. I hope if this was the payoff, hey, boom, I'm all for it. Let's move on. But I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll find out in Mexico. Hopefully this is it. Like I said, hopefully this is it. We won't see any more. But I know Joe Hendry is in Mexico. I don't know if the other two, Katarina or Grado, are. But, like I said, I don't know where this is going, but wherever it's going, let's get there already and move on. Alright. We had the Global Wrestling Network flashback. The Von Erichs, Kevin, Marshall, and Ross. So, Kevin Von Erich, his sons, Marshall and Ross, taking on the Bromans. Enough said. No, I like the Von Erichs. Of course, Kevin Von Erich, he came in, he got the claw on, I think, DJZ. But Bromans is a forgettable tag team. Never really a fan of theirs. So we don't really need to talk about that much now, do we? No, we don't. So let's move along. Okay, it was KM and Fallah Bahh. Of course, they had a little segment with Scarlett Bordeaux. Again, no smoke show this week, so I don't know what they're doing with that. But let's get Scarlett Bordeaux in the ring. Enough with this backstage crap, and she's showing up with, barely wearing any clothes. But let's get her in the ring. I know she's talented in the ring. I've seen some videos of her. Let's get her in the ring and, make her a full-fledged wrestler already. Let's see what she can do in the ring. Enough with this, the smoke, special effects smoke appears and then she's just sitting there and, it's just enough's enough, right? Let's see what she can do in the ring. Now that's what I want to see. Get her in the ring. Actually, somebody asked Alicia Atout, if she would ever think about being a wrestler, who would she want to face? And Alicia did say, she would like to face Scarlett Bordeaux and show who the real 10 is. So, there might be a little match happening there. Who knows? But, anyway, so, we had, Johnny Impact and Josh Matthews had, a little, Skype interview. I don't know why the whole Skype thing, it just looks a little cheesy to me. I don't know. I guess because Johnny Impact was home recuperating, so Josh Matthews had to do the interview via Skype. So I guess that makes sense. But Johnny Impact is recuperating. Says Aries had backup and he's a bit frustrated and at the damage done to his body, but he said he'll be back for Bound for Glory. So it looks like that match is happening. Johnny Impact against Austin Aries at Bound for Glory for the Bound for Glory title, for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight title. LAX was on this week and they took on the Fraternity, Channing Decker and Trent Gibson. This was another good match, man. This was a good showing for the Fraternity, Channing Decker and Trent Gibson. They're Toronto-based wrestlers. They've appeared at Greektown. Greektown Wrestling is one of their promotions that they work for, and they work for other promotions in the Toronto area. But they did a good job. This was good. This was a good match. This wasn't a squash. They held their own and they looked really good as a team, the Fraternity. But of course they were facing the best tag team, or one of the best tag teams on earth right now, Santana and Ortiz. And of course, LAX did win the match. But, I want to see more Channing Decker and Trent Gibson. I want to see more of the Fraternity. We're seeing a lot of good talent. Like last week we saw, Zachary Wentz and Ace Austin and, Trey Miguel, and this week we saw the Fraternity. So we're seeing some good young talents on Impact Wrestling, and I would say lock a couple of these young guys up. These guys are really good, and again, Lord knows they need more tag teams. They never can have enough good tag teams. And Channing Decker and Trent Gibson, the Fraternity, they could be a really good tag team for Impact Wrestling. So I say lock these guys up, lock them up. Or maybe not right away, but we want to see more of them. They did a good job. This was their debut, and they did a tremendous job, in my opinion. And I let them know. I let them know it on Twitter, and they both appreciated it with a retweet and a like. But all seriousness, they did a great job, Channing Decker and Trent Gibson, and what can I say? Santana and Ortiz, they held their own against Santana and Ortiz, the best tag team in Impact Wrestling and one of the best tag teams in the world right now. Good job, Channing Decker and Trent Gibson. Let's hope we see more of you in the future. Alright, and of course, post-match, King and the OGZs come out, Hernandez and Homicide, they come out, and King just absolutely killed it on the mic. He was trying to break the ceasefire that was called last week by the bosses. And he didn't hold back. King was just absolutely awesome this week. He said that he was going, but what my favorite line, even though it's whatever. My favorite line is when he said he regrets that the kid he hit with the car is still alive. He's talking about Little Richie. That was what a piece of shit line, right? And he did that so well, and he played that character. He plays the character so well. I love this, man. I love this feud, and I'm glad the bosses made this match for Bound for Glory between all six men. I'm looking forward to it. Wow, King was so damn good this week with that promo. Wow, he's just trying to bait them into breaking the ceasefire. Jeez, that was absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous work by King this week. One thing I like so much is he made it so believable. He makes it so believable, and just, again, terrific job by by King this week. It says Eddie Kingston. Great job this week. And this is one, like I said, this is one match that I'm really looking forward to. I don't know how much Koenig can still do in the ring. I'm sure it's going to be mainly Santana and Ortiz doing the brunt of the work, but I'm looking forward to this match. And it's coming up at Bound for Glory. Sold out, baby. We found out that Impact Wrestling, the Hall of Fame, we saw a Hall of Fame promo where they're going to announce an inductee to the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm trying to think who it might be. A few people online were saying, it should be AJ Styles, but, I guess, these people are forgetting that AJ Styles is under contract with the WWE and it's not going to be AJ Styles. I'm thinking it's going to be Abyss. I don't think he's in the TNA Hall of Fame. But I'm thinking it's going to be Abyss. I think they're going to elect Abyss to the Impact Wrestling They're going to induct him into the elect him. They're going to induct him into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. So that's my pick right there. And then we had another great match for the X Division title. Brian Cage 101 with Congo Kong. Congo Kong came out by himself. There was no Zombie Princess with him this week, and I guess his feud with Johnny Impact is completely over. I guess, like I said, Congo Kong ended up in the pool, and he's like, you know what? I don't want to feud with you. I don't want to feud with you anymore, Johnny Impact. So we had Brian Cage against Congo Kong, and match did what it was supposed to do. Was exactly what it needed to be. A big victory for Brian Cage to make him look good. It was good back and forth action. Lots of big power moves by Brian Cage, and he defeated Congo Kong. He pinned him, hit him with an F5, and defeats Congo Kong. And then he grabs the mic and he accepts OVE's Bound for Glory challenge, which I think I stated that a little earlier. So he has accepted the challenge, and we'll get that match at Bound for Glory. The match being Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, and Brian Cage against OVE, which I stated earlier, but it's okay for me to state it again. And that was it. That was it this week. I don't think I missed anything. Let me just go over my notes. I think I covered everything. Again, it was a little quick this week. That covers everything. Next week, we are in Mexico. Next week. I'm not sure what matches we're going to see. I did hear that the Laredo Kid has made his return to Impact Wrestling. A few other Mexican wrestlers making their debut next week, and it's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. So Impact Wrestling from Mexico next week. Really looking forward to it. So I guess that's it. I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm going to say thank you very much for listening this week. I am Lewis Carlin. This is the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast, Impact Wrestling Edition, heard on the Tap Out Wrestling Podcast Network. Until next week, thank you, take care, bye-bye, and stay safe, everyone. So long.